What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? It is episode number 503 of Victory Monday, Super Bowl bound edition of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's KB coming at you from Underground Studios, and it is the host with the most who's joined us on every Sunday night into Monday episode this football season since about halfway through the year. The people's champ, Mr. Patty Pitts, coming at you from the Pitts Cave.
It has been an absolute pleasure, treasure, whatever you want to call it, to be part of this Eagles journey with you, Kyle. And being the champ of the Patriot peeps, we are sad right now in Foxborough. And the fact that you guys have adopted me, and I'm going to make a little reference here, to your bloodline in Philly, it's really just the best. And I am just so immersed into the Eagles culture at this point, and am really, like, I was running up and down my stairs today because my dad and I are watching on two separate floors, and I'm flapping my arms. I'm just walking upstairs flapping my arms and just saying, "Go Birds." And I was trying to get my niece and nephew to sing the Fly Eagles Fly song. I mean, it's just, I think of Philly like another Boston in a way. So when you see yourself in the culture, and obviously success helps, but god damn it, it's fun. It's fun football, Kyle.
It is a wonderful time, Patty Pitts. You know, before we even dive into all the bells and whistles, the business side of things, it is just crazy to think about this team, where they are, being as good as they have been this entire year, still being doubted. They'll be doubted for the next 2 weeks, no matter who wins this AFC Championship game, which we'll keep you guys updated as much as we can. We're watching it now as we record. But man, the fact that this company, the foundation of Underground Sports Philadelphia, is Super Bowl 52. 5 years later, we're going to be celebrating our 5-year anniversary, and then we're going to be getting ready for a Super Bowl. It's just absolutely crazy.
It is. It is crazy. And then being on the other end of that Super Bowl 52 game, that was a dark point in my fandom. Not of the, like, questioning it or anything like that, but, like, you just never thought it was over because of Brady. So my drive home was so somber, and I remember listening to my Deep Soft playlist, which I, use for when I just want to get my feels. And Josh Groban's "You Raise Me Up" playing along with Shadows in the Dark, or "I Will Follow You Into the Dark." So those two
shout
songs,
out Death Cab for Cutie.
they were a great song, but really in my feels there.
Yeah.
And then I walk in my door, and my roommate doesn't say, like, "How was the game? How was Ben's?" He's like, "Hey, so did you hear the Gronk's gonna retire?" And I was like, "Fuck you!" And then I just walked upstairs. He's a Giants fan, by the way. And it's now nice to be on the other side of that, and kind of explore my Philly fandom, because I've always had, like, a softer side for the Eagles. I mean, what other team is going to make me binge listen to Dreams and Nightmares?
It is it's a wonderful time. I just have to, it's a whole perspective thing, obviously, here, at our HQ and our home base, and just, like, it still hasn't hit me. It's very similar to the Phillies and the Union going, and it's just like, it doesn't hit you until it's actually being played. So it probably won't hit me for a few days that the Eagles are actually going to the Super Bowl. But we're going to dive into all that. We're going to talk about the Sixers' big win against the Nuggets as well, because they're on a roll to join in on this Philly fun. But before we get started, make sure you guys are following us on the socials. On Twitter right now, we're doing a giveaway. Dwani's new Jalen Hurts print. It's up for grabs. We're giving away one of them. Winner will be announced during our anniversary show on February 8th. Obviously, our anniversary on the 7th, but the next show, February 8th, it'll be announced then. All you got to do is follow us, follow Dwani, retweet the tweet, and if you want to double up your entries, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. It's our pinned tweet on Twitter, at UndergroundPHI, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com/UndergroundSportsPHI. Follow Pitts on Twitter, at Pat_Pitts, and at Pitsy35 on the Instagram machine. And you can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311 and KBIZZLE11 on Instagram. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast feed. Guys, we're going to the fucking Super Bowl. We are going to have some of the best, if not the best, Super Bowl coverage out there. Not from the Super Bowl. Like, we're going to be talking about this for the next 2 weeks. Subscribe to the podcast feed. It really does help. Let's take this thing to the next level. Search Underground Sports Philadelphia on your podcast app of choice, whether it's Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Leave a 5-star review. Let us know. We will be reading every fucking review if you leave one with your excitement levels about the Super Bowl. Leave it on Apple Podcasts. It really does help. Let's get on the charts these next 2 weeks. Let's get Underground Sports Philadelphia on the Apple Podcast charts for the next 2 weeks, bare minimum, as we enjoy this Super Bowl run. And you know what else we can do? We can subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, because that's where you get full video episodes of this podcast. That's where you're going to be getting shorts, original content, live streams, a whole bunch of stuff is going to be on the YouTube channel the next 2 weeks, Eagles-wise. Go subscribe, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. Smash that like button, ring the bell icon, comment down below your excitement about the Eagles going to the Super Bowl. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel and go check out our pinned tweet, you get an extra entry into our giveaway. We're currently at 368 subscribers. Let's get to 400. Let's take it beyond. Let's blow this thing to the moon. youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. Big thank you to our sponsors who make this show happen. Main Auto LLC, Security 21 Security Systems, Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated, and the Dental Wellness Center of Vineland. Those four have been riding with us damn near since day one, if not since day one. So big thank you to them. And also big thank you to our incredible merch partners, PHI Apparel Company. Guys, they're the best in the game. They've been dropping new merch that is original merch from them all week. They've got Grease the Pole shirts. They've got their own official NFC Championship shirts. They've got amazing stuff. Plus, they've got official Underground Sports Philadelphia merch.
Here we go.
My Hyper Beast Underground hoodie came in the mail today. Fitting. It looks awesome. I can't wait to wear this. I'm going to be wearing it till I can't wear it anymore, and then I have to buy a new one because it's the best quality. Like, I'm feeling it right now, this hoodie. I can already tell it's going to be one of the most comfortable, if not the most comfortable hoodie I own. You can get every podcast on our network has official merch, plus all the merch on their website. You can use our code UNDERGROUND at checkout for 10% off. Gear up for the Super Bowl. Get Underground Sports Philadelphia merch for the Super Bowl. Get official Eagles merch for the Super Bowl. We have so much stuff planned to be sending over to them to put into our storefront on their website. Like, I can't even tell you guys how excited I am. We're going to have so much stuff. phiapparel.co. Use code UNDERGROUND for 10% off any and all merch. It's the most effective and direct way to support us. You want to support us during this Super Bowl run big time and help us, take things to the next level? Get your merch. When you get it, tag us in it. Tweet at us that you got your merch. Show us where you're wearing it from across the country. We want to see the Underground Nation doing the damn thing. Patty Pitts, I can't contain my excitement because the Eagles are Super Bowl bound.
They're bound. They're bound for the Super Bowl.
They beat the 49ers 31-7. Didn't quite get to that fun number
Bro, that would have been fucking
That would have
icing on
been
the cake if I
that would have
ever.
been mint. Lil Uzi Vert brings the Eagles out of the tunnel,
Does
out
he do
of
what he
the
wants?
locker room. They just want to rock, you know? That's what this Eagles team wants to do. They want to rock. Anita Baker, Jalen Hurts' favorite artist, sings the national anthem. They were not losing in front of royalty today, okay? That was not going to happen. Jalen Hurts didn't have to do too much. The Eagles' ground game did a lot, when it mattered. And Jalen Hurts only had to throw over 121 yards because the Eagles' defense came out like gangbusters and shut the 49ers down. Brock Purdy unfortunately gets injured. Hopefully he's okay. I saw a tweet. Preliminary thoughts are that he damaged his UCL in his elbow. He's getting an MRI. Wishing all the best to Brock Purdy. It was unfortunate that he got injured because then you get Josh Johnson just adding to his resume of just incredible ridiculousness, or as you would say, nonsense, is Josh Johnson's NFL and football resume. Check out his Wikipedia page if you want to know more. He's got Stephen McAvoy tweeted his LinkedIn profile. It's ridiculous.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's got every team he's played for on his LinkedIn.
That's incredible. Did you know that Josh Johnson was the 7th Detroit Lion backup to play an NFL game this season?
That's wild.
Just saying.
Josh Johnson gets his first
Incredible.
postseason start, or playing action, I should say, complete his first pass in the postseason. Christian McCaffrey took a snap from under center, and to be quite honest, like outside of McCaffrey running for 84 yards, which he was going to get his because that's the only thing they had, and there was a couple runs that they shouldn't have been able to break off, but, just poor tackling by the Eagles that they should have been able to stop. The Eagles shut down, their wide receivers, even when, Brock Purdy was in the game. Like, they clamped up so much, on the outside and just allowed. I gotta say, he's a South Jersey kid, grew up an Eagles fan, went to Temple and played at the Link. Now he's home playing for the Birds, snubbed for Defensive Player of the Year. The Link this year has become Hassan's house. Hassan Reddick has been unbelievable.
He's been, without a doubt, the best player on defense this season for them. And that's not a knock on anyone on the defense. It's every game this dude makes a play that's game-changing, and the one that sticks out to me is the one where I honestly thought he came away with that ball.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought that was a sack, forced fumble / takeaway interception bullshit, and the Eagles were going to get the ball right there. And if I think that's the case, we would have had 38-7. But it just he's just there, like he's just always in the pocket, always in the backfield, just causing chaos. And like, how do you stop him? How do you block him off the line?
You don't. And Hassan Reddick this postseason, adding in with this game, he had 2 sacks in this game. He had 1.5 sacks last week against the Giants, so he's got 3.5 this postseason, which is a new Eagles franchise record for most sacks in a postseason by a single player. He's been absolutely unreal. Javon Hargrave also had a sack in this game. The Eagles' defensive line was just unbelievable, and that's where the Eagles won this game. Like, everyone wants to say, oh, they got lucky, if Brock Purdy stays healthy, it's a different game. The Eagles created their own path to victory. Like, they got pressure on the quarterback. It's not their fault that they went in and attacked Brock Purdy when his arm was up in the air and were able to just come down on. Like, that's just a freak thing that happens. Yeah. And the Eagles created pressure, created chaos in the backfield and in the pocket to make it so that they were going to win this game. And I can't overstate it enough, just the Eagles being healthy across the board in this game. 22 out of 22 starters from week 1 playing in this game. That's unheard of, typically, at this time of the year.
To me, what stands out is not the Eagles' play, honestly. And this is where I really want to shut up a lot of the haters. The Niners lost this game. Like, there's not, and it's not because of the score. If you look at the amount of penalties they took, not only just penalties, stupid penalties. the face mask to Miles Sanders, I think it was, or AJ Brown, whoever it
Boston
was,
Scott.
Boston Scott, out of bounds. As
11
he's picking him
penalties
out.
for 81 yards. The
Like, dude,
49ers did.
you can't.
They pushed
And
Jalen Hurts out of bounds late. Like, that was disgusting. And also, the big one was, Trent Williams just acting like a certified baby, punching Kayvon Wallace, throwing him to the ground, starting to throw punches after that. Like, dude, you're supposed to be this poised, everyone looks up to you, NFL veteran. Get a fucking grip. You need to act the part. You want to be a leader on that 49ers team. You want to be an example. Everyone on Twitter wants to call you an OG. Play the part then, because you acted like a certified baby when the tough times got going. You got going.
yeah,
Times got tough. He got going, and I was just Trent Williams is a stupidly good player. Like he's a phenomenal football player, but that turned me off a ton from being like a supportive fan of his, because it showed that when the pressure got going, he couldn't handle it.
yeah, I love Trent Williams too. He's always been someone that I look up to as like the model offensive lineman, both on and off the field. And today was just weird. I think it got to him. The pressures of not only the loss, but the fact that the Niners are kind of a dysfunction in a way. I mean, they have 4 quarterbacks right now. Obviously injuries play a part, but let's not forget about the beginning of the season. And I mean, beginning as in before training camp, where they didn't know who their starting quarterback was going into the year with Jimmy G or Trey Lance. Like, I feel like it gets to the point where you're losing and you're losing that bad. And, you can really separate the real leaders that just, have had enough and they'll walk away and they're going to be on their own and to, deal with the misery. And then you're going to have ones that act out. And for him, it was very uncharacteristic.
Yeah, and I mean, the wheels came off the wagon before the first whistle even blew. It was, AJ Brown and Jimmy Ward pregame, getting into a pregame scrap.
Yeah.
Had to be separated.
Oh, yeah.
And it was all mental warfare from there on out. The 49ers couldn't keep themselves composed, and this little Cinderella story for them came to an end, very similar, in my opinion, to how the Minnesota Vikings were in 2017. They were this Cinderella story, came into Philadelphia, where, quote Chris Long, the GOAT, shout out to Chris Long, anybody could have gotten it that night, and the original 38-7 happened. And Case Keenum showed his true colors of what Case Keenum really is. Brock Purdy showed the true color. Like, even when Brock Purdy was in the game for those first couple of passes before he got injured, I was like feeling pretty decent about where the Eagles were. They were up 7-0.
Oh, yeah.
The offense wasn't going for the Eagles, but the Eagles defense was keeping them in it. And then, Purdy goes out. Josh Johnson comes in, who had 2 snaps on offense all year long. The Eagles won this game. Like you said, the 49ers lost it. The Eagles won it. They took advantage of the opportunity and seized the moment. And they didn't let the moment get too big for them, just like the 49ers did. The Eagles kept their composure, did what they had to do. Obviously, Kayvon Wallace got thrown out in the Trent Williams aftermath, which I saw why they threw him out in a video that Pat McAfee tweeted. You see Kayvon get up, which is completely justified, by the way. Like, Kayvon got thrown to the ground like it was fucking Royal Rumble last night. And fucking got up, was confused, and threw a punch. Like, I think any normal, sane human being who just got thrown to the turf like that is going to get up and react to the first person they see, thinking they got thrown to the ground by them. I'm going to defend myself.
Yeah, I don't. And at that point, if you get kicked out of that game, it's the playoffs. It's not like soccer where if you get a red card and thrown out, you have to miss the next game. He will be fine. He's going to play in the Super Bowl. He just tempers got high. And you're going to defend yourself.
He'll get a fine. Somebody will pay that fine for him.
Like, it's not he will pay that. Someone else will probably pay that, if you catch my drift. And what matters is that it's always the second guy. That's what I was going to do. It's the second guy that always gets the real punishment. And yeah,
That's why the Eagles got hit with
whatever.
that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty too. I don't know if you saw the ultimate replay of that when the Eagles got called for unsportsmanlike conduct when Nick Bosa got hurt originally and got cleated almost.
Yeah.
Whoever the player was had Josh Jobe, one of the Eagles' secondary or special teams players, in a chokehold on the ground, and he got up, tapped him on the helmet like this. Pitts goes, "Bah," and then they throw the flag on Jobe. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
The refs were terrible in this game. Also, before we just continue being in the glory, I have one more rant to go on. I love
Go for it.
Burkhart and Greg Olson. I think they are a phenomenal tandem in the booth together. Today was not their best performance. The amount of times those two had to continuously go back and just say, oh, the Eagles got, boosted and lucky by a catch that wasn't a catch by Devontae Smith. If that doesn't happen, I think they talked about that play not being a catch 7 different times. Guys, guess what? In the stat sheets and the record books and the replay and everything, because it wasn't challenged, it wasn't overturned by the refs, it wasn't gone to under the fucking catch happened. It's a catch. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah, they took it. See, the thing with that is they took it. They're going to take the wind out of the game because of that. And
I couldn't believe how many times they kept going back to that. 25 minutes after the fact. When the Eagles were up 21-7, they're talking about Devontae Smith not making a catch.
And if it was a closer game, I can see their point.
Sure.
And overemphasis on it. But
you take that away. Guess what, guys? You take that touchdown away, it's 24-7, and the Eagles are still going to the fucking Super Bowl.
Still going. And it's like, oh, it could have been different. It's like, well, no, then the Brock Purdy shit happened. And then, that you still had 8 penalties that were costly. And I think 3 of them happened on one drive that eventually led to a Jalen Hurts touchdown of some sort. It's like, you lost yourselves that game. That's my biggest issue with this, is that the Niners lost themselves this game. And I have friends here that just hate the Eagles. They hate Philly. I don't get why. I really don't. And they were just all ranting in the group chat. And I'm not kidding you. I was laughing my ass off because I just don't see the point of why people are Niners fans. I don't. Yeah, the legacy point, and they could have been the Patriots before us now.
Unless you live in the San Francisco Bay Area or Santa Clara right now where their actual stadium is, or you grew up in the 90s and you were just a typical bandwagon fan. It seems like everyone who was around our age in the 90s were just bandwagon NFL fans because the Eagles were bad or their team was bad. Because you ask anybody who's probably in the age range of 45 to 68 right now what their favorite NFL team is, I'd say probably 4 out of the 10. If you polled people, 4 out of every 10 are going to say some combination of 49ers, Cowboys, or Steelers.
Yeah, I know an old boss at Quinnipiac who was a 49ers fan, and he is exactly in that age range. So, I mean, it just makes sense too. But I don't get it. I'm not a fan of them. There's a lot of dysfunction. I think overhype. Their defense, they're just I said this to, I forget who, in what group chat, but
I think you sent it in our group chat.
The Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Niners are the Patriots with a competent offense. If you just put in, say they had their offense coordinator. I'm not even going to say Kyle Shanahan. Just put the Niners offense coordinator in Patricia's position this year, and the Patriots are at least fighting for an AFC championship game. I'm not going to say they'd win it, and I'm not saying Super Bowl bound, but they're at least a whole lot better, and things are looking a hell of a lot brighter in New England. So, and that's my thing, is that the Niners are not who the people are saying they are.
I thought Kyle Shanahan was going to get thrown out of the game the way he was yelling at some of the refs.
Oh, he was, oh my Lord.
Unreal.
He was yelling up a storm.
It was crazy.
Oh, he's like an old Catholic teacher screaming at the kids.
I said this when, so my sister and Matt were over today for the game. I said to Matt, I said, God damn, Kyle Shanahan looks like he's been a president for 3 terms.
That's
and I said, I guess 28-3 alone will do that to you.
That whole Falcons franchise is just 6 feet under after that
And then,
28-3.
Kyle Shanahan having to deal with 4 quarterbacks plus Christian McCaffrey taking a snap. I guess that'll make you look like you've gone through 3 presidencies.
He's gone through a lot, and as much as I'm not really the biggest Niners fan, I am a big fan of Kyle Shanahan, so I do feel bad.
He is a fraud, though, man. He is such a fraud.
No, I think they're just not. They're
He's
not
the
buying
original.
in.
He's the original touted as like this genius, and he chokes every time.
He
Now,
does
this year-
have coordinators poached though.
This year, he will get a pass because of the quarterback situation, but
Yeah, as he should.
I digress. Let's talk about the Birds, though.
Let us talk about the Birds. This is Birds
Jalen
podcast.
Hurts breaks an NFL record. Most rushing touchdowns in a single season by a quarterback, including the postseason. Once held that record was Cam Newton, now owned by Jalen Hurts. That's pretty fucking cool.
That is cool.
When you think about, I know like your most recent memories of Cam Newton are not the fondest because it was, past his prime Cam Newton, but when Cam Newton was doing Cam Newton things, when he was Superman for the Carolina Panthers when they were going to the Super Bowl, that was unprecedented water. Like that was like he was doing things Michael Vick did, but with a more like muscle massed body, and it was just unbelievable. Like Vick is more skinny muscle. Tree trunks were what Cam Newton was logging around with his arms and legs. Like he had probably like 40 pounds more of muscle across his body
And
than Michael
height,
Vick
dude.
did.
He was a tight end. It was like Darren Waller taking snaps.
Like it went Michael Vick, Cam Newton, and now we've kind of started to see it with like Lamar Jackson doing the rushing thing, scoring touchdowns his year that he won the MVP, and now Jalen Hurts this year, like to set a single season record that was set by Cam Newton during that year is crazy.
It is absolutely insanity. And what the crazy thing is that people are still not considering him an MVP.
He's the MVP. Hate to break it to you. He's probably not going to win it because they're going to be like, oh, he missed 2 games. But
yeah, but that
he's
should
proven.
be a signal or another,
Yep.
addition to the
16-1,
resume.
including the postseason with Jalen Hurts as the quarterback for the Eagles this year.
I mean,
Proofs in
I
the
know
pudding.
Mahomes. Sorry, I just
saw it too.
Mahomes. We have a fumble. Oh man.
Um,
Oh boy.
The Eagles' rushing attack was phenomenal against the 49ers today. 148 yards in the ground, which is some of the most that the 49ers have given up this season on the ground. The 3 rushing touchdowns, the 2 from Miles Sanders and the 1 from Boston Scott, they were 3 of the longest touchdowns rushing that the 49ers have given up this year.
Wow.
Where the longest of those 3 that the Eagles had was for 13 yards. So, I mean, that's a testament to the 49ers rush defense this year. Like, the longest I think they gave up was 25 yards on the ground rushing this year for a touchdown. It was 13 for Miles Sanders, 10 for Boston Scott, and then 6 was the other for Miles Sanders. Those 2 Miles Sanders touchdowns, can we talk about those real quick? He went into the end zone untouched on both of those.
It was like a cannonball out of a cannon. Like
It was crazy.
Exploded in there. He grabbed the ball, and then within a second of being in the huddle or in the pylon, he was in the end zone unscathed.
My
It was
dude-
incredible.
My dude, it was like time froze around the lane that he was running,
Yeah.
and nobody knew where he was, and he just went right boot scooting into the end zone. It was unbelievable that it happened not only once, but twice. Also, the way that Lane Johnson, who before the game, Jay Glazer reported that he retore his groin against the Giants, still played in this game, and I'd say for 85% of the time, shut down Nick Bosa.
Absolutely incredible.
There was a couple plays Nick Bosa got free, but Nick Bosa is going to do that. But
Nick Bosa's going to get his.
Lane Johnson shut him down for the most part in this game. Like,
Insane.
I'm trying to pull it up here just to see. Eagles only allowed 1 sack against this vaunted 49ers defense that everybody said was so good, They are elite. They go toe to toe with the Eagles defense. They beat, when you go head to head weighing who has a better defense. The 49ers are ahead of the Eagles. One sack allowed? One sack? I just think of the Megamind meme that everybody puts under like one sack?
Looking
That's
up.
it?
Well,
That's it?
incredible.
What was your take as well? I wanted to get your take on this because that punt that Brett Kern had clearly hit the fucking sky cam.
Bizarre. I was like, what are we doing? Like,
How can Fox not show us an angle of the punt hitting their own sky cam?
Don't want to show them screwing up.
It was unreal.
Like, I've worked in production. I know how this shit works. Like, you don't want to show yourself messing up because that puts a bad taste in the viewer's mouth. And it's like, well,
crazy.
why do they have the wire there? Why couldn't they, raise it higher? Why does it have to be there? Can't they do like a drone? Like, it's going to just spark nonsense shit that they just don't want to deal with. And then to not have it, like, to me, it's ridiculous because you just replay the down. It was a punt.
It was a punt.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like a touchdown call that he threw it so high that it hit the wire, and because the ricochet, it ended up in his hands instead of the other teams.
It was crazy.
Like, they were giving the
it's
ball
essentially
away.
what happens at the Cowboy Stadium when it hits the fucking big screen. That's way too big.
Redo it, and there's no issue. Like, that's what I was saying to my dad. I was like, they should just redo it, regardless of the flag. It happened after the ball was punted.
That was nuts to me.
I just don't. I did not understand why they wouldn't show it, except that was the only reason that came to mind. But still, like, what? Why, like, rush?
Yeah,
and like
it was crazy.
Weird, very weird.
I'm gonna give you the 3 categories where I believe the Eagles won this game.
Okay.
That aren't typical stats per se, but this is where the Eagles won the game. First downs, fourth downs, and total plays combined. Combine the total plays with time of possession. So here we go. First downs. The 49ers had 11 first downs in this game. The Eagles had 25. Fourth down efficiency, 49ers 0 for 2. Eagles went 3 for 3 on fourth down. Total plays and time of possession. Time of possession, Eagles 37 minutes, 26 seconds. 49ers 22 minutes, 34 seconds. Total plays, 49ers 45. The Eagles 70.
Wow.
That's where the game was won. The Eagles controlled the time of possession, held on to the ball. They had more logistical is not the word. They had more like streamlined drives. They were more calculated with their time of possession. They had multiple drives that resulted in touchdowns where the Eagles had the ball for like 6-7 minutes. That's how you win games against teams like the 49ers. When they have those types of defenses and you just keep the ball away from them and wear them down, those types of drives are how you win football games against the elite echelon teams in the NFL. The Eagles did that all year this year, no matter who was in front of them. They kept the ball. They had those signature 20, I'd say probably throughout the year, they probably had like 25 of those type of drives where they held onto the ball for 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes, and it resulted in a touchdown. That's how you win games. The Eagles, with that vaunted 92% of the time, it works every time. QB sneak, beautiful stuff. I was just very impressed by Jonathan Gannon today as well on the Eagles defensive side of things. He said after the game, because obviously he's being interviewed as a head coach, he said, no. Like, I don't care. I'm staying here. Good, bad, no matter what. Philly's got me.
Yeah, that's huge.
I don't know if he's saying that just because he kind of has to, or is Jonathan Gannon staying and saying, fuck those head coaching positions?
He might just be saying, just get out of my face, and saying it in the nicest way possible, because of course they're going to ask that question and try to get an answer in a time like this. It's great awareness on Gannon to be like, no, I'm going to just steer into the bias skid and the where I'm at skid and just shoo them off that way. Because once you say that, they you could say anything and they're gonna run with it for a story or for something. So just give them give them what the fans want to hear, and then when they do that, boom, you're in, and then you keep that focus with the team because that's what this is like the crucial thing with this Eagles team right now. Because as I'm watching the game on TV Bezos on my left, both those teams are good, and they are very good teams where they have a competent quarterback, more than a competent quarterback. So you can't lose your focus by any means possible at all. So that was very strategic of Gannett to say that comment to the media.
Now, I'm going to play the video for you. This comes from Dave Grzybowski, I believe. I apologize if I mispronounced his name. Who is... he's like a content creator, formerly from PHL 17 here in Philly. But here we go. Said this to Breland Moore from Fox 29 after the game. Here's the context of the clip.
Might be your last one here because you might get the call.
No, Philly's keeping me. We're good, bad, or indifferent. I'm staying here.
Okay. Yeah, that...
Now you get a little vocal context.
Okay, now that I hear that tone of voice, I'm more leaning on the side that he is just... He wants to live in the moment, and he's in. Like, he's bought in, and if he does take any head coaching interviews, it's to try to get...
It sounds like... Because a couple head coaching spots have been filled.
Already, which is crazy.
Yeah. It sounds like the Houston Texans are leaning on hiring D'Amico Ryans now, which has kind of been the case. And it seems like the Cardinals are going to be hiring Brian Flores, which I think only leaves one more team, and that's the Broncos.
Yeah, the Broncos, and they're really heavy on Sean Payton.
Sean Payton. So, like, even if Gannon's getting these interviews, it seems like every head coaching spot that's open is getting closed pretty quickly.
I think he knows that too, and you can tell by that comment. Now that you're saying it, and not trying to say, "Oh, of course, whatever," but I'm more on him being that insight that
which makes me happy too, going into this.
Yes.
The way that the Super Bowl is now, where it's the week off and then the Super Bowl and media week and everything. We don't have to worry about Jonathan Gannon really, having his focus pulled away to these head coaching interviews and stuff like that. Which I think is a benefit for the Eagles going into the Super Bowl, no matter who they play.
Yeah, no, you need all your focus for the next 2 weeks. Your 110% focus needs to be on the Super Bowl, how to beat these teams, how to really pick them apart methodically, and do it in your best way possible. Because if you lose even the slightest bit for a second, these guys are going to make you pay for it. They are.
This team is just so special. There's still guys that were on this roster in 2017, like the OGs. I think there's 5 left. It's Lane Johnson, it's Jason Kelsey, it's Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, and I'm gonna pull it up right now because I'm gonna look at the 2017 Eagles roster, and I'll know exactly who it is when I pull it up. But it's those guys who have been here through it all, pulling up the roster here. Yeah, so it's those 4, Kelsey, Lane Johnson, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, and Jake Elliott.
Jake Elliott was a kicker. Yes, he was.
That's all that's left from 2017, which is crazy and Rick Lovato, our long snapper.
Incredible.
Who is like, to fall into him being our long snapper after having John Dorenbos for all those years was crazy. Isaac Sayamalu was here, but he didn't start that year. But, you have those 4 guys, and then Jake Elliott as well. I feel like there was somebody else. I'm totally going to sound like a total stooge for forgetting.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. Really, I wish I could help it.
It might be those 5 actually. Now that I'm like scrolling through it, but like, That's crazy. I saw a tweet too that both of Carson Wentz's backup quarterbacks when he was here have now taken the Eagles to the Super Bowl.
Everybody hates Wentz.
Just unreal stuff.
Oh man,
Um,
I'm pretty funny.
I'm just like I'm so pumped. And then like after the game too, with the trophy presentation, which was so chaotic. Shout out Terry Bradshaw. It was so
Terry
chaotic.
Bradshaw is what every kid wants their grandpa to be.
Brian Dawkins hands off the trophy to Jeffrey Lurie, and then Jalen Hurts gets it. And to see Jalen Hurts smile was amazing because he is very business minded. He's never satisfied. He even said it in the post game press conference after this game. He was
Very
not
Kobe.
satisfied. There's still more to learn from, still more to clean up. Like, that's what I love about Jalen Hurts. He is so methodical. He is so dialed in that he will never be satisfied until the ultimate goal is reached. And we still have one more game until that ultimate goal is reached. But to see him smile and enjoy the moment, and like the first thing he says when he's handed the mic is, "Hey, let's give it up, for these great Philly fans," and then just lets out a "Let's go!"
Yeah.
to get everybody fired up.
Incredible.
And everybody starts singing the fight song together. Like,
It's on my
it
bucket
just
list.
feels like chills. Like, I got chills. I wanted to pinch myself.
They're multiplying.
It was just beautiful. And to see, the big dogs all together, was really, really cool. Posing with Howie Roseman with the NFC Championship trophy. It was Jason Kelsey, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Lane Johnson, and Howie lifting the trophy together because those were the four starters in the trenches together in 2017, and have been here since Howie's been here. Thinking about those guys, like, they've been here for a decade plus. Fletcher Cox drafted in 2012, Kelsey in 2011, Lane in 2013, and BG was drafted all the way back in 2010.
Wow.
Those are four guys right there that at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, could easily have their numbers retired by the Eagles. And should.
Oh, yeah,
quite frankly.
absolutely.
Like, those four guys are so special, and it's so cool that they get to go on this ride again with this new iteration 5 years later. Before we keep going, we're going to talk about the grease poles. It's brought to you by our friends over at W Energy. You want to grease up your energy? There's no grease in W, though. W is natural. It's all natural, guys. You want to, we see all these things about caffeine and no crashing and no jitters, all that good stuff. Well, why W? W is formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. That's proven. I can confirm it. I've had it. I felt great after. Pitts, you've had it. We're going to get to your experience.
Yes, get to mine.
And W's formula contains vitamins, amino acids, and nootropics, including the patented neurofactor, which is meant to help brain, cognitiveness, and it's been proven to enhance brain performance in clinical studies. W contains no calories, no sugar, no maltodextrin, no fillers, and no artificial color. So if you're like my sister, who can't have that red 40 dye that's in specific drinks and stuff, you don't got to worry about that because it's not in W. No yellow 5 in W. You don't have to worry about that crap. It's all good stuff for you. W's produced in the U.S. It's an FDA-registered and inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP guidelines. Raw ingredients, its caffeine comes from coffee fruit, so it's natural caffeine, 150 milligrams, which is about the equivalent of 2 cups of coffee. It's been fantastic. I had the Dragonade live on Wednesday's show. Pitts, you took a dive into the Galaxy Grenade. How was it?
Okay, so today I had to get shit done. I had to edit videos for the wrestling show and obviously watch the games and stuff. I was exhausted from the Royal Rumble because I went to bed at 3 last night after doing live streams and watching it. So I threw in the powder, got some water, really shook it up. Like you were right, you have to really shake it up so you don't get that residue on the bottom. I'm feeling great. There's no jitters at all. I haven't felt, like really, uh, anxious or needing to move. I felt good, and it was tasty. The Galaxy Beer was like a watermelon guava lime, and I'm a watermelon and lime fan. Not that I'm not a fan of guava, but those
It's
two
not it's not a
overpower.
it's not a normal fruit that you intake either. So it's a
No,
different taste that you get a
it
chance to
and I
enjoy.
felt it, and I like it. It was very good, and it felt better than a pre-workout. It felt like this was more just like a drink and not something that was very bubbly or anything. It was awesome. I'm gonna order a lot more. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, it was phenomenal. The Dragonade was delicious. I saw Dubby's official Twitter say that, according to their sources, that if you take the Dragonade and some Sprite, no free ads to Sprite, but you combine those, you got yourself a tasty little Dubby cocktail right there to add that carbonation for the people missing out on the carbonation from their energy drinks. But they're going to war on big energy, guys. So you guys can go to dubby.gg. Check out all the flavors they have. They have tubs. They should be getting the starter packs back in stock soon. They're currently sold out, but you can order the tubs for an unbelievable price. They're $39.99, which is way cheaper than any pre-workout that you can get at a vitamin store. Plus, you're going to get 10% off with our code UNDERGROUND at w.gg. That's w.gg. Use code UNDERGROUND. You get 10% off. I'm going to be ordering a tub of the Dragonade. I'm going to be ordering a tub of the Big Energy Tears Blue Raspberry flavor. And I'm kind of really intrigued by the Dub Sludge Pits, the Granny Smith apple and secret sauce.
Oh, that
I
does
am
sound
very
intriguing.
intrigued by that. My mom says she sounds very intrigued by the Passion Joy tea. She's a big iced tea girly. Unfortunately, the Push and Punch sold out today before I could go and order it. I'm also very intrigued. My mom doesn't like not like anything that's not the actual fruit of mango, but the mango white peach cooler of Beach and Peach sounds delightful over ice.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
picturing that.
I'm not really a mango guy, but I could dabble in that.
Picturing that, and if you're trying to go caffeine free and you just need that hydration, they've got their Monkey Madness Hydro Hydration Tub as well, which is strawberry and banana flavor, which also sounds really, really good. And they've got shakers. Just saw a new Black Widow shaker on their website as well. Pitch, you got the Stormtrooper shaker sent to you. I got the mint one for signing up for the newsletter. W.gg. Use code UNDERGROUND. 10% off. Shout out to the boys and girls over at Dubby. Oh, they're greasing the poles, Pitts. Have you seen the videos? Videos are going crazy. Everybody's out in the streets right now, climbing the poles. Philadelphia fans 1, Greece 0. The grease isn't working.
Absolutely hilarious that they have to grease the poles. At this point, I don't know. I just say just let them do it. Like, what's if they fall or break something? Like, that's on them.
I get knocked down. I get up again. You're never going to kick me down.
Like, you're not. Are you really gonna sit here and think that a little grease on poles is going to stop an absolute fleet of Eagles fans? Like, you're not, dude. They'll find a way up. They'll use like human steps to like use each other's shoulders to get up there.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Sports fans, not only Philly, but Boston as well, New York. I think there's a couple others you can throw in there. Different breed of fans, where in Philly we get a little bit rowdy too. It's awesome. So I think I love the tradition, and anytime something like this happens, I'm big on that, as long as it doesn't get crazy where we're like just smashing windows and stealing stuff. But like a little bit of just going downtown, going crazy a little bit, like get that feeling of New Year's in the Big Apple. I don't know. I like it. I'm a big fan of it.
It's so cool, and like just seeing the sea of humans out on Broad Street is so funny and just so great. I've seen videos and just stories on Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter and everything of people that I know that are out there right now and just taking it all in. I'm getting another call, Pitts.
You got another call?
I'm getting another call.
Dude. Do they know we're recording?
Hello?
This is Delco Danny over here, Underground Sports Philadelphia. How we doing, boys? We're out here in Broad Street. It's absolutely going crazy down here. Everybody's in the streets. They thought they could grease the poles around 1 or 2 p.m. when we were going into the stadium and everything. Grease poles, my ass, boys. We are out here. I seen like 12 people trying to climb one pole all together. It's a whole team effort. We're down here just by City Hall doing an EAGLES chant, Go Birds. You know what I'm talking about? Like, we're out here eating cheesesteaks. We brought them down from the link. We're cracking open some ice cold Kenny's. I know your boys are sponsored by Kenwood Beer. Shout out to the Kenny boys. You saw Kenneth Gainwell leading the Birds in rushing this week too. That was absolutely fantastic, boys. You know, it's crazy. 5 years ago we were going to the Super Bowl, and now 5 years later we're going back to the bowl. It's a beautiful thing. Patty Pitts, I know you're not a Philly guy. I know you're not a Philly guy.
Sorry, I'm not, Danny.
But you know what? You've been on this ride with us, and I gotta appreciate your dedication to supporting the Birds and dropping some Go Birds out there in Massachusetts, because I know you're not gonna like this, but fuck the Patriots. They're not going back to the Super Bowl. It's either gonna be Patty Mahomes or it's gonna be Joe Burr. I'm glad that you're on our side this time.
It's nice to be on your side, Danny. I'm
Really?
EAGLES Eagles! You heard that, boys? It's going crazy down here. I don't know.
What's the chance like?
The chants are crazy. There's kids running around waving their shirts like, it's a terrible towel out here. But, this is Philadelphia, not Pittsburgh. It's the Birds towels. It's a rally towel. You saw the royalty out there at the link today. Boys, we saw Bradley Cooper was there. Mike Trout was there. I saw a lot of Mike Trout clowning tweets on Twitter, saying, oh, it's so nice to see Mike Trout in the playoffs finally. Hey.
I mean, that's a good one, Danny.
It's a good one.
You
He
gotta
calls
respect
them as you sees them. But, there's a lot of royalty down there at the link, and it was a good old time. I saw Joey Bosa getting clowned by a bunch of Birds fans. Good on them. Joey Bosa's a loser.
You got into it. You fed into it.
And, you should see Dr. Jill Biden was there, too. She was yelling
saw
Go
him.
Birds,
I saw
sitting
him.
over there with old Raj. But, man, it's crazy down here. Boys, thanks for letting me call in again. And, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the bowl, boys.
Go Birds, Danny.
Go Birds!
Wow. Shout out to Delco Danny, man.
Delco Danny is slowly becoming one of my favorite characters and people that I've encountered in this new journey. It's
What
kind
a
of
guy. He's an electric factory, just continuing to move the needle. I don't know where he found my phone number to call into the show.
Dude, do you have it on the Instagram? Like when people
It
go
might
to,
be where he found it. I'll have to see if Delco Danny's, on Instagram, or if he's just kind of a.
might be one of those weird accounts because he sounds like
Yeah.
he did not know how to really use
He
technology.
said he saw some tweets though. He might be on Twitter.
He might be
I don't know.
following me.
We'll have to
He
see.
might be
Shout out to
following
Delco Danny, man. Seems like he just loves calling in after the Birds games. I wonder if it's going to continue.
mean,
Going
yeah,
into
we have
next
more
week,
games to
we have a
find
bye
out.
week. We'll see if Delco Danny calls in on the week off. But man,
Nice.
2 weeks in a row, we're getting the presence of Delco Danny on the pod.
Incredible.
You're a big fan.
I am, dude. I love characters. I love characters.
He's a big fan of yours, it seems, as well, Pitts. And you know what? I'm a
wait,
big
who
fan of.
isn't, dude. Who's not a fan of the champ?
You know what?
Double
I'm a big fan of the Pat Pitts Power Rankings, and it's brought
here
to you
we go.
by our friends over at Trophy Smack. Guys, it's never too late to upgrade your fantasy smack talk. And you got Super Bowl squares and polls coming. You can get a trophy for that. You can get metal wall art. You can even get loser trophies. They've got the golden toilet seat. They've got belts, rings, trophies. You name it, they've got it. You guys can go to trophysmack.com/underground and start upgrading your fantasy smack talk today for any sport out there. Baseball, football, basketball, hockey. I'm sure there's fantasy lacrosse people out there. There's fantasy survivor and bachelorette leagues out there. Get some hardware. Show it off to the people. TrophySmack.com/underground. That's TrophySmack.com/underground. Upgrade your fantasy smack talk today. Pitts, I'm going to give you the floor. And
here we go.
when you hear that music,
My handy dandy notebook.
it'll be time for the Pat Pitts heading into the Super Bowl Power Rankings, brought to you by Trophy Smack.
I gotta turn up my speakers, which I do, and you should turn up your ears to listen to Pitts' power rankings heading into the Super Bowl week. Number 10, the Royal Rumble was last night, and it was awesome. Okay, that's why I'm wearing 2 belts. Champ of the wrestling piece as well. And by God, shout out Cody Rhodes and Rhea Ripley for winning the event, and shout out Sami Zayn for sticking up for himself. Always stick up for yourself. Number 9, the 49ers quarterback room. Okay, they have more injuries than I had fish in my truck yesterday driving through Boston. I mean, they just can't catch a break. And honestly, it's kind of a nice thing that their season ended so we can get the answers of who is the real QB1 in that locker room. And if they find out, please stand up. Number 8, 49ers fans at local bars. My buddy, Two-Turn Cali Will, who has been on underground programming, texting me from San Francisco. He lives out there, so he's kind of adopted himself into that fandom like me in Philly. They get on this list because right after the beatdown and all that shit was happening, the entire bar got to witness the Whopper Chicken Whopper commercial as they were getting beat down, and he said it sucked the life out of the bar. That was just music to my ears. That was just, I felt so great hearing that. Number 7, Nick Sirianni. Motherfucker's a badass coach, all right? And the reason why he's on this list, not because he won and all the other reasons you think, but this man wanted to go for 2 points to do a hard count on a 2-point conversion. That is a football guy through and through, and that move, I was laughing, and my dad is just sitting there confused because even Belichick couldn't even think of something like that. Number 6, Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee returned out of nowhere last night at the Royal Rumble, and fun fact, no one on commentary knew, so it was their genuine reaction as to mine when I flipped out on stream with Kyle. Oh, it was incredible, and happy he's back on Friday Night SmackDown. All right, number 5, Boston Scott. I'm going to start calling him the touchdown machine because this man just seems like anytime he steps on the field, he's scoring a touchdown. Giants, 49ers, Tigers, Bears, oh my, it doesn't matter. He's still going to find a way to get into that end zone. And number 4, dude, I got to give a shout out to Delta Danny. I mean, I just love him so much. And he reminds me a lot of the characters that I surround myself with in the great city of Boston, but give it a Philly twist. And I mean, if I'm a character, everyone else is a character that I hang out with. Number 3, as you can see right now, I'm wearing green to represent the Eagles, but I'm wearing an Expos Pedro Martinez jersey. That's right, Kyle. Before we hopped on the stream, I played my MLB franchise show, franchise Red Sox, the Idiots, and Pedro Martinez threw a 23 strikeout no-hitter. And I'm not kidding you, that hyped me up so much, including this. I just had so much energy going into this pod, and it was because of one of my heroes, Pedro Martinez. Number 2, Pat Mahomes. The fact that he's still fucking playing on a high ankle sprain or whatever it is, I don't think he's human. And I mean, he's going to be like the Jeter of my era where I can hate him when he's on the field, but god damn it, you got to respect him. And it's like, well, why aren't you going to put Hurts at number 1, Pitts? No Eagles player really is on your list. No, it's the whole goddamn team because they're going to the Super Bowl second time in 5 years, first time under Sirianni, and everyone's like, oh, they had a Mickey Mouse run to the Super Bowl. All right, well, how's your team doing? All right, you can't come up with there was injuries. Shit happens. Get over it. All right, just because it's easy doesn't make it. I don't know. So you could say any cliche you want. The Eagles go in the Super Bowl, and I have never been just happier to be part of a Philly program ever. Go Birds!
What a performance by Patty Pitts.
Champ.
What a promo cut right there. So to recap there, from 1 to 10, it's the Eagles at number 1, Pat Mahomes, MLB The Show, Pedro Martinez, Delco Danny at number 4, Boston Scott at number 5, Pat McAfee makes the list at number 6, Nick Sirianni, because he's a dog, at number 7, 49ers fans at local bars, number 8, except if they went to Xfinity Live on a Saturday. Fucking clowns. 49ers QB room at number 9, and then the Royal Rumble at number 10. That's the Pat Pitts Power Rankings, brought to you by Trophy Smack, going in to Super Bowl week. Now, Pitts, we're going to have a whole preview, obviously, on Wednesday's show, depending on the outcome here, but there is 4:56 remaining in the AFC Championship game in regulation. It's 20-20 between the Chiefs and the Bengals. I don't know who I want the Eagles to play, to be genuinely honest with you. Both teams are wildly talented. I like that these two teams are kind of beating each other up right now. I mean, let's be honest. Like, Gardner Minshew got to come in towards the end of the game for the Eagles and just hand the ball off. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, really rest.
So, I mean, like, I don't know who I want the Eagles to match up against. I think no matter what, it's going to be a phenomenal Super Bowl and has the ability, I think it has the ability to be as close to fantastic Super Bowl as we had since 5 years ago, when I think Super Bowl 52, no matter what side of the ball you were on in that, whether you were Eagles, Patriots, or neutral, you can definitively say that is one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time.
Oh, for sure. Oh, no, yeah. That I will agree with that. It was such a hell of a game. It's just the only thing that makes me sad is the outcome. And that's all you want out of a Super Bowl, is the two best teams coming together to put on the best game of the year. That's what the Super Bowl should be. And honestly, I mean, the Eagles and either of these two teams could really put on a hell of a performance.
Yeah. And I mean, there's so many fun storylines. I mean, last two coaches that Jeffrey Lurie's hired in their second years have gone to the Super Bowl. Doug Peterson and Nick Sirianni. You know, if the Chiefs win, they'll go toe-to-toe with the greatest coach in franchise history to never win a Super Bowl, Andy Reid. And when I say that, I mean never win a Super Bowl as the Eagles head coach, obviously.
Yes.
And then, you know, you have the Cincinnati Bengals, where it's, you know, the thirst trap Super Bowl of
Well, you didn't even
the two hottest quarterbacks in the league, arguably.
You didn't say the other storyline, the local kid, Isaiah Pacheco.
Well, yes, obviously Isaiah Pacheco is. We got a Vineland, New Jersey reference during the AFC Championship game as well, so that's amazing. Shout out to Pop. And then from the Bengals side of things, it's the two hottest quarterbacks in the NFL, Jalen Hurts versus Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Yeah, then it just the Chiefs, you could have the Kelsey brothers going out in Super
Yes,
Bowl.
you have the Kelsey brothers with the Chiefs as well. It's just it's gonna be a crazy fucking Super Bowl, I think, no matter what. And I mean, you look, these two teams have played each other the last two AFC Championship games. They're the last two AFC teams to make it to the Super Bowl. They've both lost. So I mean, like, they know what it takes to get to the Super Bowl, where the Eagles only have, you know, a handful of guys who have been to the Super Bowl, and only a handful of that handful have played in a Super Bowl. So, like, there's going to be an experience factor on either one of these teams. So the Eagles are going to be counted out. They're going to be disrespected for the next 2 weeks. I'm ready and prepared for it, because I feel like that's kind of the status quo for the Eagles when they go to the Super Bowl, is they are the underdog. They are the team that gets disrespected, puts on the back burner, and I think that just fuels the fires of Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts.
When they're the underdogs, they play the best. That is what I've learned. And the mistake was to have them as underdogs today. I think it was ridiculous.
Being 2.5-point favorites at home in the NFC Championship game when Brock Purdy is the starting quarterback for the opposing team. No offense to Brock Purdy. Had a phenomenal little storybook run. But the Eagles decimated the New York Giants. The 49ers barely escaped a bad Dallas Cowboys team.
Yeah, and everyone's saying Mickey Mouse. Like, the Giants had I would say, as good of a year as most AFC teams.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, can we all just take a moment to laugh at Micah Parsons giving credit to the Eagles while live tweeting the game?
Oh, that's dude.
Giving the Eagles props and tweeting about it. Oh, it's no longer the system, Micah. It's no
Yeah.
longer the system
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's
because
so...
Jalen Hurts is the fucking system.
I am
Youngest quarterback in Eagles history to take
I
them to the
am.
Super Bowl.
I am the table.
Ugh.
It's incredible.
It's crazy that Jalen's the youngest quarterback in franchise history to take the Birds to the
That
Super
is
Bowl. Though.
wild, dude.
I mean, granted, we've only been to 4. You know, it was Ron Jaworski in 1980. It was Donovan in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was technically Nick Foles in 2017. And Foles was...
That was Nick Foles.
I don't even know how old Nick was in 2017, honestly. 29 or 30, so Jalen's 24, taking the Eagles to the Super Bowl.
Incredible.
Like, look at where Jalen Hurts has come since being drafted with it. Like, we were live on draft night and talking and texting, and it was 2020, so it was like, you know, peak of lockdown.
Oh, yeah.
Jalen Hurts gets drafted in the second round, and everyone's like, what the fuck are the Eagles doing? We just extended Wentz. This is crazy. Why are we using a second-round pick on a quarterback? This was the plan the whole time. It's the plan the whole time.
Incredible.
And Jalen Hurts, after being disrespected at Alabama, getting benched by Brian Dable for Tua, transferring to Oklahoma, getting drafted in the second round of the 2020 NFL Draft, now to starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, leading them to a Super Bowl in the third year of his NFL career.
It's absolutely insane that the two quarterbacks that come in to replace or, you know, back up Carson Wentz get to the Super Bowl in this Eagles system that they have. And usually it's like, oh, well, yeah, it's a system if this guy, but no, I mean, he was the legit problem. That just shows how good this Eagles team really is and the weapons they have. I mean, that trade for A.J. Brown might go down as probably the best trade of the season.
And you know where that pick came from?
Was it
that was the draft pick that conveyed as a first-round pick from the Indianapolis Colts in exchange for Carson Wentz.
You're simply the best. Boom, boom, boom. That's incredible. That's fucking awesome.
And I mean,
I love sports. And
you look at the quarterbacks that were drafted in 2020 early on. Joe Burrow has been to a Super Bowl, done the thing. Obviously, they didn't get the win, but been to a Super Bowl.
He did it. You got there.
Tua had a phenomenal year this year and finally started to see strides outside of when he was injured. But when he was playing, like, we saw the finally the unlocking capabilities of Tua Tagovailoa with weapons. Justin Herbert, fantastic quarterback. I think he's held back by his coach, but Justin Herbert drafted there.
Oh, absolutely held back by his coach. Absolutely.
And then in the second round at pick number 53 out of Oklahoma, Jalen Hurts, the second quarterback from this draft class to be going to a Super Bowl.
Was he the last quarterback drafted in that class?
The last quarterback drafted was... I'm going to sift through here. So Jacob Eason was drafted in the 4th round.
Jacob Eason. Tony Eason's kid. Former Patriot quarterback.
Jake Fromm was drafted in the 5th round.
Jake Fromm, baby.
Jake Luton was drafted in the 6th round. And Ben DiNucci.
Ben DiNucci!
Now XFL starter Ben DiNucci was drafted in the 7th round. Tommy Stevens was drafted in the 7th round. Nate Stanley in the 7th round. And then Tyler Huntley was an undrafted free agent.
Oh, yeah, who the Ravens have.
The Ravens. Jalen Hurts was the last good quarterback drafted.
All right, let's.
And
let's
arguably,
Ben DiNucci did say
Jalen Hurts is the second best quarterback and has the ability to be the best quarterback from that draft class. And it's him and Joe Burrow right now. And it's crazy. Joe Burrow was the number 1 overall pick. Jalen Hurts picked 53 in the second round and had to sit behind Carson Wentz for 4/5 of a season his rookie year.
Yeah.
Like,
it's absolutely
two totally different trajectories, but those are like the two guys right now that are doing it. Like, Jalen Hurts is a quarterback who makes everyone around him better. Joe Burrow, quarterback around him, he makes everybody around him better.
Mm-hmm.
You can make that argument about Tua and Justin Herbert. We just haven't seen it on the big stage from either of them yet.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it's crazy to think that the Eagles stole Jalen Hurts in the second round.
It is wild that they actually did that. And everyone was saying, was that the draft that they could have had Justin Jefferson? That's crazy. So
but
picture that.
Here's what I have to say. If the Eagles get Justin Jefferson, probably don't have A.J. Brown.
Yeah, but then you have Justin Jefferson and Devonta Smith.
But you could make the argument Justin Jefferson isn't targeted the way that he is in Minnesota.
And gets angry and that way? Oh,
and
you're going with that. Okay.
I think A.J. Brown being in Philadelphia is better suited for A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts than Justin Jefferson because those two guys are best friends.
They are. It's just crazy to me how when we're, one day when we do the sports what ifs and have those types of discussions on here, then you're going to be like, well, what if they drafted Jalen Hurts and Justin Jefferson that draft?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that just shows how insane over the past few years this Eagles organization has been, and not just in the, wins and stats column, but the building and, really solidifying yourself as, a high caliber organization. It's absolutely insane the work they've done.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, you want to do the comparison here. Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts, both of those organizations went and got their quarterbacks, their best friend, to be their wide receivers.
Yeah.
With Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, obviously best friends from college, and now playing together at an elite level in the NFL. And then Jalen Hurts gets Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown, two of his best friends from college and childhood, to be his two ace weapons.
It's insane.
It's almost like if you get guys, people that they're friends with, they play better.
I mean,
that's look at two with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
Like, actually,
it's unreal. The Birds are going to the Super Bowl. We're going to have a massive breakdown preview episode over the next couple of weeks. The next 3 episodes, I should say. We'll also have our anniversary episode sprinkled in there because that'll be the episode leading into the fucking Super Bowl, guys.
That's incredible.
Anniversary episode is the last episode before Super Bowl Sunday. Let's ride. But we do have another team to talk about. And it is the Philadelphia 76ers. And it's brought to you by our friends over at Kenwood Beer. Guys, since the Big Kennys have infiltrated the Wells Fargo Center, the Sixers are 11-2 at home. Math is mathin', everybody.
Hashtag Kenny Magic.
You guys can get Big Kennys at the Wells Fargo Center. You can use the all-new and improved Kenny tracker to see who's got Kenwood beer on tap in the Philadelphia area. You can get it at your local Philadelphia liquor stores. And hopefully, we're hoping very, very soon that we're going to have Kenny's in New Jersey, which will be massive for the brand. They are inching closer and closer and closer to the great state of New Jersey. We're right on the cusp there. It's almost there. We can almost see it right near Camden. We're getting closer and closer, but you guys can do all of that. Check out who's got Kenny's on tap in the Philadelphia area. You got to be 21 or older to do so. And of course, guys, as always, please drink responsibly. Pitts, the Philadelphia 76ers. I know you're not a massive Sixers guy.
This is where I can't. Yeah, this is where it's Celtics. Like,
but
yeah, I can't. But
Joel Embiid gets fined for
that's right up
DX
my
chop,
territory, a little.
25 grand. Triple H says, "Hey, if you pay more up front, can you cover the rest of the season and I'll chip in." Just phenomenal stuff. The Sixers are on an absolute tear right now. And Saturday afternoon, a little matinee basketball at the Wells Fargo Center. They found themselves down 94-88 to the Denver Nuggets and wind up outscoring them in the final 13 minutes and 26 seconds, 42-20, and win 126-119. Joel Embiid with a step back dagger three over the Joker
was absolutely insane, dude. Incredible.
James Harden jumps on his back, gives him a piggyback ride. Cassidy Hubbard asked Joel after the game. He's Joel, not an all-star starter, absolutely crazy, and you can even admit that as a Celtics fan. That's crazy.
Dude, that's fucking bananas. Joel Embiid is on.
Joel said,
Kyrie goddamn Irving.
Joel said, "I keep getting disrespected, but it's fine. I deal with it. I just want to stay healthy and go. I'm poised for a big postseason run." That's what you want to hear from your franchise big man. Joel he uses that disrespect and that fuel. He was at the Eagles game today as well. The whole Sixers squad was there. I'm gonna send you this picture because the Sixers were there. It was Michael Rubin, James Harden, and
wow,
the entire Sixers crew was there with Lil Baby. This picture's unreal. I'm texting it to you as we speak. But the whole Sixers squad was there, and they weren't going to lose in front of the Sixers. Come on now. But they beat the Nuggets 126-119, and you're probably saying, "Hey, KB, the Nuggets are in the Western Conference. All this, what a photo, right?"
It's fucking Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
That man just weasels his way.
He's from Philly.
Everything.
He's from Philly.
Yeah, exactly. He wheels his way into Philly.
The size difference between Kevin Hart and Joel Embiid is crazy.
Dude, it's like Bennett and I standing next to each other.
Who's
that on the far left?
On the far left is Deshaun Jackson. Yeah, D-Jack was back.
Dude, that's a legendary photo.
Looks like an album cover.
It legitimately could be an album cover.
And you see who's next to James Harden? On the left? Meek Mill, casual.
Of course he is. You have the Sixers in the corner, right corner.
Tobias Joel, James Harden, Kevin Hart, Meek Mill, Michael Rubin, PJ Tucker, Tyrese Maxey, Deshaun Jackson, Lil Baby. Just an all-time photo.
Who are the two white guys?
So the one in the middle is Michael Rubin.
Who's the other one?
I don't know who the guy with the long hair is.
Yeah, who's just sneaking, look like he popped up out of nowhere. Just creeping.
What a photo! What a photo!
What a photo! Honestly.
You're probably asking though, KB, it's the West, in the East, but the slander that Joel Embiid gets online from NBA writers, NBA podcasters, Bill Simmons, all these people about his play and how Jokic is better and has this better VORP and X Raptor and all of these stats that are just made up, Google spreadsheet stats. This was big. To kind of just silence the fucking loser patrol out there who truly don't understand basketball and need numbers to explain the sport of basketball to them. The way ESPN disrespected Joel Embiid from this game, though, is beyond lunacy. Did you see this, by the way?
No, I did not.
So ESPN posted 2 videos from this game, a game that was nationally televised on ABC. 2 videos. One video was Shake Milton and George Niang getting into a mini screaming match with each other, which was totally fine. And then the other video was James Harden you will love this. And James Harden's winning his way into your heart.
He slowly is, honestly.
James Harden was sitting on a chair and tried to make a defensive play and steal, coming in from out of bounds, and the Sixers got teed up for only having 4 guys on the court. He was sitting on like the bench and just came in and like tried to poke the ball away, but he wasn't on the court.
That's incredible.
But those are the only 2 videos ESPN posted on their official Instagram. The entire game on a nationally televised ABC game. And then, this is the creme de la creme. So in this game, Joel Embiid finished with a game-high 47 points. Absurd. Which has just become like the norm for him this year. Jokic finished with 24. Do you want to know what the title of the YouTube highlight reel was for this game?
Something to do with Jokic. Not.
Embiid and Jokic combined for 71 points. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's tough. That's really tough.
My brothers and sisters in Christ. Joel Embiid finished with 47 points and 18 rebounds. Jokic finished with 24 points and 8 rebounds. We had a goddamn double up from Joel Embiid on this man.
He fucking doubled his points. I'm not going to lie. That's kind of fucked.
Plus, Joel hit a step-back dagger 3 in his face. And that's all you're going to post?
Ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely ridiculous.
As we have 3 seconds left here in the AFC Championship game. And it looks like our Super Bowl matchup is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hey, Kyle. Want to hear something?
Let's hear it.
And I can say this now because whatever happens in the Super Bowl, your boy wins money. So, as you know, Kyle, I put in a futures bet, that the Eagles would win the Super Bowl on May 13th or 15th. Tomato potato, doesn't matter. But I put that in, and because after a conversation you and I had, I went, I'm fucking in. I see the process. And now the Chiefs. I will keep this story short because we have run long. But my friend Tina, her drunken Polish dad, came up next to me at a party and asked if I was big into betting. Obviously, yes, I am, because I do that for a living. And he gave me $100 bill and said, "Bet the Chiefs, Super Bowl," like thick Polish accent. And I did it for him. And you know that he's a nice guy, and at least I'm gonna get some of that winnings because I was the middleman. You always got to pay the middleman. So irregardless, I'm gonna go home with some money.
Well, you know what I have to say to Tina's dad?
Go Birds.
Go Birds. But to wrap up here with the Sixers, it's a big win. They continue to just like be on this tear. They're 32-16. Which I believe they are still in second place. Yeah, they're 2.5 games behind your Celtics for first place in the East, which is just crazy. And we talked about this, I want to say, 2 or 3 weeks ago now, when we mentioned that Doc Rivers was going to be deploying 3 different lineups. Since then, it seems like Doc Rivers has remembered how to coach. And the Sixers have looked like a much more competent NBA team, and have just played smart, clutch basketball since they haven't been, running the same tired shit out there over and over and over again. And they're 32-16 with the second best record in the East and third best record in the NBA. Only behind the Nuggets, who are 34-16, and that's just because they've played more games than the Sixers, and then the Celtics are 36-15. Sixers have the third best record in the NBA right now. They've won 7 straight, 9 out of their last 10. They're 19-7 at home. I'm going to be taking in Sixers Cavs in a couple weeks at the Wells Fargo Center. This team has just been unbelievable. So good on the Sixers. Keep chugging along. Matt and I are going to be talking more about the Sixers as well on Wednesday's show. And also shout out to the Phils for signing Josh Harrison. Because the Eagles, shout out Jack Fritz for this stat. The Eagles scored 17 straight and outscored the Niners 17-0 as soon as they signed Josh Harrison. So, Jay, hey, how you doing? Welcome back to the Phils. But that's all we got for you guys. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. They're playing the Chiefs. We're going to break it all down on Wednesday's show. We're going to be talking all about it for the next week and a half right here on Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's going to be electric. We can't wait. It's Jalen Hurts. It's Patrick Mahomes. The Birds, Isaiah Pacheco. We've got storylines on storylines. The Kelsey brothers going toe-to-toe. Let's go. Eagles, Chiefs, Super Bowl 57 in Arizona. Make sure you guys are following us on the socials. At Underground PHI, Twitter and Instagram. We're doing a giveaway on our Twitter right now. We're giving away Duani art. Who doesn't want a Jalen Hurts print from Duani? It's easy. Retweet our pin tweet. Follow us. Follow Duani. And if you want an extra entry, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's all in our pin tweet. Go check that out at Underground PHI. Follow Pitsy on Twitter at Pat_Pitts and at Pitsy35 on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311 on Twitter and KBIZZLE11 on Instagram. Pretty fucking crazy back-to-back years. We've got somebody from Vineland, New Jersey going to the Super Bowl. Shout out Jameel.
Something
shout out
in the
Isaiah.
water, baby. Something in that water.
Something in the water down here, you know I'm talking about.
You see water, I say water.
You know what I'm saying. Make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast feed. Let's get Underground Sports back on the charts. It's been a while since we've been on the top 200. I'll never forget when we passed the Adam Schefter podcast back in 2019 when Bryce Harper signed here. Let's do it again. Subscribe to our podcast feed, Apple, Spotify. Just search Underground Sports Philadelphia. Leave a 5-star review. Subscribe and unsubscribe and resubscribe. Play with the analytics, the system there, the what is it called, Pitts? The algorithm.
Yeah,
Play
the
with the
algorithm.
algorithm. And get us on the charts. We are going to bring you the best goddamn Birds coverage going into the Super Bowl that you'll ever find on the internet. Subscribe to the podcast feed. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. That's where you get full video episodes of every podcast on our network. That's where you're going to get unbelievable Eagles coverage, shorts, original content. You get live streams on our YouTube channel. We are currently, right now, at the ending of this taping, 368 still. Go subscribe. Run it up. Let's hit 400 by the end of the month. Let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
Come on, people.
Fucking do
subscribe. YouTube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Be a friend, tell a friend. Smash that like button. Ring the bell icon. Comment a go Birds in the comment section to let us know how hype you are for the Super Bowl. Big thank you to our sponsors who make this show happen. Main Auto LLC, Security 21 Security Systems, Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated, and the Dental Wellness Center of Vineland. And make sure you guys get your merch at PHI Apparel Company, our exclusive and official merch providers. Go get your merch. Eagles gear available on their website. It'll be there in time for the Super Bowl. Go get it. Get Underground Sports Philadelphia merch as well. Tag us when you get your merch. Tag PHI Apparel Company. And use code UNDERGROUND at phiapparel.co for 10% off any and all merch. It's the most effective and direct way to support us and what we're doing here. You want to see us take our content to the next level? Get your merch. It's the #1 way to do it. So go get that stuff. This has been episode number 503 of Victory Monday, headed to the Super Bowl edition of Underground Sports Philadelphia.
Yeah.
My main man, Patty Pitts. I'm KB. We'll see you live Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on our Twitch channel. But until then, go Birds! And we are signing off. Peace!